Well, it's a day that many baseball fans here and around the country have been waiting for, the official start of the Jays season.
Seems early because it's not April, but here we are, end of March, and joining us now for a look at what could be in store for the boys of summer is Johnny Junta, one of the hosts of the Gate 14 podcast. Johnny joining us on the road in his hotel room in St. Louis. Good to have you here, Johnny. Thanks for joining us. So what are we to make of this year's Toronto Blue Jays spring training? At least to me, based on the highlights we showed and the wins and losses, seemed like a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really put that much real estate into into spring training. But, man, I mean, the Jays look good this spring training. I mean, they revamped their entire kind of model, their lineup, the way they're approaching things. They're a more serious team this year compared to last year. But I'm not going to look into spring training stats or wins and record as much as I'm looking at development. But there's a lot of guys that Bo Bichette looked incredible, Vladdy looked incredible, George Springer looked incredible. So it was a good it was a good spring training, and obviously, especially last year after the heartbreak 8-1, they blew an 8-1 lead in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're going to be bouncing back here, and like I said, this is the biggest day of our life as Jays fans. Game 1 of 162. This is going to be probably the most anticipated Jays team since 2015, maybe.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm fired up for it, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome season.
Okay, you sound very optimistic, Johnny. And of course, you know, you talked about this being a more serious team this year. I guess it was some indication when they got rid of the home run jacket. Do you think that that's going to help, that they're coming back not just better, but more mature and serious?
Well, listen, I'm an advocate for enjoy how you play on the field and have fun after. Have fun after you win. I mean, last year we saw them putting on the home run jacket when they were down 8-2. It's just stuff like that just doesn't make sense. I was a home run jacket. I don't care about it. It's whatever. It's just the visual of it, of throwing a home run jacket on someone when you're down 8-1, just looks like trashy and terrible. And John Schneider kind of took the approach this year to kind of take it away and focus more on like wins and losses, and instead of just kind of off the field stuff. So, and they brought in veterans like Brandon Belt, who's I believe a 3-time World Series champion, who's going to be obviously a veteran presence there. Kevin Kiermaier, who's another Gold Glove guy in center field, veteran presence as well. He used to play for the Tampa Bay Rays. So they're taking the approach to be a little bit more serious here, but they can also have fun too. I mean, I want guys bat flipping. I want guys celebrating after a nice catch, obviously, but you can't do it when you're down 8-1, or you can't do stuff like that where it's just trashy. And I like the home run jacket being gone personally.
Okay, so Johnny, pitching, of course, is so key, especially in the American League East. Yusei Kikuchi had kind of a up and down season last year. What did you see from him in spring training, and what does he need to do this season?
Listen, I'm not going to look that much into spring training, but I'm all in on the Yusei Kikuchi train. We call him Yusai Young on the Gate 14 podcast. Okay. I'm dialed in on him. He had a below 1 ERA. He led spring training in strikeouts. A lot of the trolls in our TikTok and Twitter comments will tell you that he's just facing bums in spring training and stuff like that. But he's striking out guys like Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, Cedric Mullins. Like, he's not facing these AAA guys. And what he showed with his stuff in spring training and his ability to adapt to the pitch clock was crazy. So I truly do think that he is going to bounce back this year. And I'm not asking him to be the best pitcher in baseball. All he has to be is a guy that has a 4 ERA. That's all I'm asking. He's the 5th starter in the Toronto Blue Jays.
Right.
Doesn't have to be a Clayton Kershaw or anything like that. So I'm all in on the Yusei train, and I hope the viewers are all in on the Yusei train.
Okay, and it sounds like, just speaking to you earlier, you said that you're also on the Bo Bichette train. He was looking pretty good in spring training. What do you think he needs to do? Just keep at what he's doing, or improve in some areas? Well,
Bo Bichette, obviously, listen, the fielding is a massive part. I mean, I don't think he made that many errors in spring training. So, to be honest, if Bo Bichette hits like he has been hitting in the spring training, I'm expecting a 30-30 season. And I don't know if the viewers know this, but they made the bases bigger, and they added different changes to like the pitch clock and like how many times a pitcher can pick off at first base. So Bo Bichette is going to be stealing tons of bases this year. He's not a slow guy. So a lot of people are anticipating him to go 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, which hasn't been done by a Toronto Blue Jay in a very long time. So obviously there's a lot of anticipation for Bo Bichette this season. He obviously signed a 3-year deal here. Doesn't have to worry about going through arbitration. So that doesn't have to worry about contract talk right now. So I think he looks incredible in the spring. So I'm fired up for Bo Bichette.
You sound fired up overall. Johnny Junta, thanks so much for joining us on opening day for the Toronto Blue Jays' latest season. He's with the Gate 14 podcast. Thanks for being here. Hopefully we'll chat throughout the season.